Yuan Shao is one of the pillars of the later Han Dynasty, becoming one of the most revered men in the court service, deathly loyal to his superiors, and a proud noble who fought to maintain stability within China. So let's see how the game screws that up.
Let's dive right in. Yuan Shao was born into a family who had many members serving in prominent positions in the Han Dynasty. His birth was the subject of controversy within the Yuan family, since his father, Yuan Feng, adopted him from his concubine, placing him as the oldest son ahead of his half-brother Yuan Shu. Compared to Yuan Shu, Yuan Shao respected men of talent regardless of their background. As such, he was welcomed wholeheartedly by many during his childhood, and was able to become good friends with both Cao Cao and Zheng Miao.
When he entered the government service, Yuan Shao became a trusted servant of He Jin, and answered the call to suppress the Yellow Turbans. Together they plotted with other officials to remove the corrupt 10 eunuchs after the passing of Emperor Ling in 189. During an episode in which Yuan Shao, Yuan Shu, Cao Cao accompanied He Jin, an imperial summons from his sister, Empress He Jin was assassinated, and Yuan Shao led a raid into the palace to slay every eunuch, whether they be corrupt or not.
Give me 5,000 crack troops, and I will march into the palace, enthrone the rightful emperor, destroy the eunuchs, and purge the court, thus restoring peace in the land.
In 190, Yuan Shao answered Cao Cao's call to arms for a coalition against Dong Zhuo, and was placed at the head of the operations on the basis of his expansive and influential lineage.
The rebel minister Dong Zhuo takes advantage of the discord to work evil, and calamity falls upon honorable families. We, Yuan Shao and his confederates, fearing for the safety of the imperial prerogatives, have assembled military forces to rescue the state.
During their campaign at Sishui Gate, Sun Jian was defeated by Hua Xiong and progress was halted. In the absence of his two trusted generals Wen Chou and Yan Liang, Yuan Shao ordered Liu Bei and his brothers to confront the enemy commander, and eventually the battle was won with Guan Yu slaying Hua Xiong.
Liu Bei and his sworn brothers were able to repel Lu Bu at Hulao Gate, which prompted Dong Zhuo to flee the capital. Yuan Shao decided not to pursue, which led to the falling out with Cao Cao, Sun Jian, and Gong Su San, and eventually the alliance disbanded.
Yuan Shao would later forge an alliance with Liu Biao and Lu Bu to defeat the Black Mountain Bandits in Ye, and put pressure on Gong Sun San and Yuan Shu. He soon defeated Gong Sun San and seized control of all of northern China in 199.
I, Yuan Shao, a man of war, have mustered my armies and displayed my might, that I may sweep away and destroy the evil opponents of government. Cao Cao availed himself of the opportunity to overstep all bounds, to give free rein to violence and evil. The rank of lordship will be the reward of the one who brings the head of Cao Cao.
Yuan Shao then turned his attention to Cao Cao in the south, and met his forces at the Battle of Guandu. Yuan had Cao Cao's forces outnumbered 5-1, while Cao Cao also had to deal with a rebellion by Liu Bei. However, ill placement of his troops as well as not fully capitalizing on his advantages cost him total victory, and led to a drawn-out battle that eventually led to Cao Cao's favor, when Chu and Yan Liang were slain by Guan Yu. His supply depot was captured by Yu Jin, and his men were defecting to Cao Cao at the site of their losses. Yuan Shao ultimately had abandoned the fight and fled north, allowing Cao Cao to take control of Yuan Shao's territory, a loss he never recovered from.
In many titles, Yuan Shao is shown to be a nobleman proud of his lineage, but over time grows more arrogant and pretentious, and in many instances he is the comic relief, speaking flamboyantly with a high and mighty attitude. This is likely due to his indecision in both Hulao Gate and Guangdu, where his passive approach to decisions cost him victory and stability. After all, who would ally themselves with a man who can't make choices?
His relationship with Cao Cao is made much more personal, as the two were childhood friends who would hunt together during adolescence, but their relationships had become strained over the years and had evolved into a bitter rivalry.
The names of his weapons are also named to be in competitive contrast with Cao Cao, and in fact both wield broadswords referring to their method of rule, one relying on conquest while the other solely on nobility and status. Yuan Shao is one of the most agile characters in the series, focusing on fast movement and weak but effective strikes. His Musou attack also follows the same themes of nobility, because God forbid you don't know that he's a nobleman.
The nobility are capable fighters as well. Nobody can outshine the nobility.
After his major defeat at Guandu, Yuan Shao tried to maintain control of his territory. He reached stability, but he could never recover the advantage he had over Cao Cao. Soon he fell ill and had to be bedridden.
If we allow the foe to get close to the city before we march to the river, we shall have missed our opportunity. I must go out to repel this army.
His youngest son Wansheng took his place at the head of the army, and his wife, Lady Lu, prepared for the worst on his deathbed. Yuan Shao was pressed by his wife and advisors to pick one of his 3 sons to succeed him. With his final effort, he chose Wansheng and shortly after passed away.
However, his efforts were for naught, as strife between the 3 brothers fractured the armies, allowing Cao Cao to take advantage of the discourse and destroy the Yuan family. This, however, bolstered Cao Cao's ego, which caused him to repeat Yuan Shao's tactical mistakes and suffered a huge loss at Shibi, which serves as a lesson: those with great power should heed to respect it.
This is FNGR, and to see more of my work, go to my channel For No Good Reason, all one word, where I have a podcast called King of Limbo, covering various internet personalities like Larry Bundy Jr., Digibro, Anthony C., Mother's Basement, and so many more, as well as a series called How Not to Brony, where I take on the otherwise squeaky clean, full of charlatans, conmen, and goofballs of the highest order.